Hello students, today we are going to learn about listening skills in English language. English listening is often the most challenging of the four skills, which include reading, writing, speaking and listening for learners to develop. It can be quite frustrating when you are involved in a conversation with somebody only for you to notice that you are not understanding everything that person is saying. This can affect confidence levels and lead to misunderstandings which could have negative implications in the future, especially in a work and business environment. Improving English listening skills doesn't only involve extra listening practice during self-study. It also incorporates recognizing why you are having difficulty with listening, anticipating the subject matter in a future conversation, and working on active listening during a conversation. It's also important to give yourself time to see the results. Just like improving your fitness, your ability to play any instrument with consistent daily practice, 3 months is a good benchmark to visibly see an improvement. Listening skills means an ability to receive and interpret the message accurately and systematically. It involves the identification system of sound and process them into meaningful sentences. To keep ourselves alert with concentration is the basic principle of proper listening. How to improve listening skills? Before you want to become a good English speaker, you need to become a good listener first. You need to develop all essential things related with listening abilities. Here are some important ways to improve listening skills. First one is always be attentive and relaxed while listening others. Try to guess the purpose of speaker speaking. Wait the speaker to stop and then ask your question. Give the speaker your regular feedback. Always take notes while listening. Improve your summarizing and note-making skills simultaneously. Pay attention to speakers' gestures and movements. Always respect the speaker with some praising words. Always listen with fresh mind. Avoid frustrations. Nod properly in a way that you are understanding whatever is being spoken. Stay equipped with information and knowledge. Practice listening on radio and television. Make a group of competent listeners to practice daily. Keep patience while listening. Always try to imitate the good speaker. Always participate in various listening activities. These were some habitual steps in order to improve your listening skills in English language. Apart from this, you all can have a shower conversation, children. Now, if you are not sure what a shower conversation is, so you have to check out the TED talk called Technique to Speak Any Language. The speaker, Sid Efromovich, explains how shower conversations helped him improve his interaction with other people in a second language. You basically anticipate the conversation beforehand and then have the conversation with yourself. It's your choice to have it in the shower or not. Doing this puts you in a confident mindset for a future conversation, as well as helping discover possible challenges you may have. Then you can improve active listening skills during an English conversation also. The route to improve your English listening skills isn't only about practice you put in during self study, it also involves actively listening during a conversation. The skill of active listening is important in a conversation because it demonstrates that you are actually paying attention to what the speaker is saying. As well as this active listening avoids miscommunication. Here are some ways to improve your active listening skills in English. Pausing. When to take proper pause. When you are listening, pausing is beneficial in a conversation. Firstly, because it avoids interrupting, which is considered disrespectful in many parts of the world. Sometimes the speaker needs space to structure the idea or pauses deliberately to emphasize something. So, to make sure it is the right time for you to speak, it is worth waiting for a couple of seconds. Pausing also shows that you give careful consideration to the person's words and you will hear the person better as words will soak into your mind on a deeper level. Interrupting politely. Interrupting politely is sometimes necessary when you are unsure of what the speaker is saying at the moment. After all, communication is a two-way process. For effective communication, both speaker and listener cannot be talking at cross purposes. And furthermore, since misunderstanding can lead to frustration, interrupting politely helps you shift your focus from I don't understand, I'm frustrated to I am going to understand what he is saying. Here are some useful phrases for interrupting politely. Sorry to interrupt, but sorry, I really have to say something here. Hold on a moment. What are you saying is, if I could just jump in for a moment, may I interrupt you there for a second? Paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is when you express what the other person says in your own words. If you do this well, it really shows that you have been listening and will avoid any miscommunication. Here are some expressions you can use before paraphrasing what the speaker has just said. Let me see if I understand you correctly. So, what you mean is, in other words, you are saying that if I am hearing you correctly, asking for clarification. You can use clarification questions when you want to ensure that you have understood the speaker's message. It is a useful active listening skill because it not only helps to avoid miscommunication but also shows that you are interested in what the speaker has to say and are eager to understand him or her. Here are some clarification questions you can use, children. I'm sorry, but I'm not very clear about. Could you explain that again, please? What do you mean by? I don't quite understand what you mean by. So what you are saying is, are you saying that? If I understand you correctly, you mean, let me see if I understand you correctly. You mean that? These were some of the phrases which you all can use while some clarification or questions. Understood? Now to conclude, I can only say, when I ask students about how they practice listening, they typically respond by saying that they listen to music, the news, and podcasts in the car on the way to work, watch movies, or watch CNN or equivalent on television. All of this is good. It gives you exposure to English and helps your brain get used to the rhythm of the language. However, your English listening practice could be more effective by implementing the strategies you learn in this post to complement these activities. These were some of the points to remember while you are actually practicing how to listen effectively in English language and how to practice listening skills in English language. Hopefully, you must all have understood the topic very well, children. Inshallah, in the next lecture we'll meet. Till then, Allah Hafiz.